Hello, welcome to Rodeo Management System Demo, Chapter 8, Managing Rodeo Stock. The first thing to know is that stock must be in the database to be assigned or drawn. So to do this, we will go to our demo and go to Rodeo Setup, Manage Stock Database. And here you see all of the stock in the database. You see the name, you see the brand number, you see what type or what event that animal is matched up to, and the contractor. So in this table, we can sort the table by type, which is the default, or by contractor. So it'll sort it by contractor first and then by type. If we go back to type, it will be type and then contractor. We can edit the stock if you need to fix a spelling correction or a brand number, or simply delete it if that animal is no longer part of the stock contractor's offering. We also have a couple of buttons here at the top: add stock to the database and add a new stock contractor. So there must be a stock contractor before you can add stock to that contractor. So to set a new contractor up, it's really just as easy as adding a name. And then when we go to add new stock to the database, we will see that that stock contractor is in our list. So when we are adding stock to the database, we will give it a name. So let's call this, I'll just give it a name. We would tell it which type, and the event type is limited to those events within your association which are set up to view stock. So they use stock in the reports. And we'll set this one as Saddle Bronc. We'll give it a brand number, and we'll assign that to the new stock contractor that we just set up, and we simply click Submit. Now, if a stock contractor has the same animal used in multiple events, such as the same animal used in bareback, as in Saddle Bronc, for example, then you would need to add that animal twice. So let's add that same animal to bareback riding. We already added it to Saddle Bronc. It was the same brand number and stock contractor. And now that animal could be assigned to either one of those events in the draw. Now, your association settings can be either set for a single stock contractor or for multiple contractors. The demo is currently set for single. We will run through single contractor mode, and then we'll switch it and show you how multi-contractor is used as well. Back in Chapter 2, when we set up the rodeo, we selected the stock contractor. Let's take a quick review of that. We will manage rodeos, choose the rodeo that we're working with, and as we scroll down below rodeo formats and below all the events, we have stock contractor, and we click the drop down and we can switch to any one of these contractors that is supplying stock for this rodeo. So we'll just make a change and scroll to save rodeo settings. And now that stock contractor would be the one that is available for the rodeo. You would continue adding stock to your stock database until all the animals necessary are in there, and then you would be ready for the next step. So now we have our database of stock. Before we run a stock draw for a rodeo, we can assign the rewrite stock. So to do this, rodeo setup, manage rewrite stock. We would choose the rodeo to which this applies, and then we can select rewrite stock. And for this, we would choose which event and stock we would be assigning to. And so we'll pick bareback riding, moving on. And you can also choose which performance we want to assign it to. By default, it is assigned to performance 1, but we'll click that anyways for demonstration purposes. And it will assign an order, and this is the order relative to the run order that this stock will appear. In most cases, you can just leave it at 99, but if you want to show, for example, re-ride stock for some reason as the very first in the run order, you can put it first. If you want to put it in any other order, you can specify that here. Of course, in most cases, as I said, the order would be last within where it will be displayed in the draw. And then we simply save that. Now, one of the things to remember here is that it will already, because we chose the rodeo, it already knows which stock contractor is being used for this. So when you select re-ride stock, it will limit that to the stock that is available from that contractor. So we could assign some re-ride stock to performance 2 if this rodeo has 2 performances, and you will see both stock in there. And of course, we can select another event and same thing. And now we will continue going through that until we have assigned all the necessary re-ride stock for all the necessary events. One thing to note about re-ride stock is that it will be excluded from being drawn to an entrant for that performance. Now, if we are adding re-ride stock to a multi-go rodeo, we would see the goes shown here instead. And same thing, re-ride stock is excluded from being assigned to an entrant in the go or the performance in which it is set up. Most associations will run the member placement draw, then run the stock draw separately, as usually the association is in contact with the stock contractor regarding number of animals needed for each event prior to running the stock draw. To run the stock draw, we go to Rodeo Setup, Generate Stock Draw. We select the rodeo if not already selected, and we simply click the button to run the stock assignment draw. And when the stock draw runs, it will randomly assign an animal to all entrants in events that are set to show stock in the event settings. For associations that expect to use multiple stock contractors per rodeo, you must first turn on this feature. This is switched on in Settings, System Settings, and we'll just scroll down to the setting, which is found about 2/3 of the way down. Here are multiple contractors. We will switch this to yes, and then we will save the settings. After you have changed the setting to allow multiple stock contractors, you will need to make sure that in the rodeo, it knows which contractors to use. So we'll scroll down here and we will choose, in addition to the first stock contractor, we will choose the second contractor and save the rodeo settings. And then we can go to Rodeo Setup, and then this stock is available to use in the rodeo setup, such as in assignment of re-ride stock, where now we will have the stock available from both stock contractors, as you see, stock contractor 1, stock contractor 2, and we would save. For associations who are using multiple stock contractors, often this is done using different stock contractors for different events. One contractor may supply the bulls and another may supply the bucking horses. As we have shown earlier, all stock will need to be in the database first. Then use Setup, select Rodeo Stock Multiple Contractors. So what this does is give us a list of all of the stock and all of the contractors, and provides us with this button, Use in Draw, which we can go and select which animals will be need to be available for the draw. And what we can also do is, if we know that all the animals from bucks and bulls will be included, we simply click that link. And when the page reloads, you'll see that all animals for bulls and broncs have been selected. As well, we have a few animals from Joe Shaw, and we can select some more of those as well. And then we scroll to the bottom and save selections. In the multi-contractor stock draw, it is possible to run a stock draw for a specific performance, or if your rodeo format is a multi-go, you can run that for an individual go. And all you do is choose which performance or go, and then run the assignment. So again, as mentioned, when you are running a multi-stock contractor draw, it will only draw and assign from the pool of animals that you have selected previously. Those are the only animals available to be assigned to the entrance. As well, any re-ride selections that you have made will be maintained, and those animals will not be assigned in that performance or in that go. Once you run a stock draw, whether it's the single stock contractor or multi-contractor, you can have a look at which animals have been assigned by going to Rodeo Reports Draw Preview and select our rodeo. And here we can see in the draw display all of the entrants as well as the stock that has been assigned. And if for some reason changes are required to which animals are assigned, you can go to Rodeo Setup, Assign Entrants and Stock, and here will be a list as we choose the rodeo and the event. In the stock column, it will show which animal is assigned to which entrant. And of course, you can see the performance and the run order here as well. And so if you need to make a change here, you simply click on the animal you wish to change, and it will bring up a list of the animals that are available, and we can make a change there. Looks like we already have that one assigned, so we'll look at another one. And we can see that this animal is also assigned, but in Performance 2, so we can simply submit the changes. And the new stock assignments have now been saved. So one thing to note with this manual stock assignment is that the re-ride stock will show up in the list. This allows you to assign re-ride stock during the rodeo to reflect actuals. That is our overview of stock management and generating stock draws. Next up will be Chapter 9, Rodeo Reports and Tools. We will see you at Chapter 9.